Hey, 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 hello everyone. It's good to be here once again. 4 days in a row live streaming. Who could have thought I was able to do that? And tomorrow I will be streaming on Nuno's channel. Make sure to join there as well. Be around the same time as I'm streaming now. So yeah, did a couple of morning streams. Now it's an afternoon stream for me. We'll see how that goes. I'm more awake now, but maybe also already a bit more tired. I'm a morning person, to be honest. I could get up at 5 if I sleep well. I get up at 5 and then I have my most productive hours in the morning, and then it's just downhill from there, to be honest. That's what irregular sleep schedule for 6 years does with you after having kids. Oh well. Hey folks, it's good to be here. Say hi in chat if you're here. That's always good to know. And then we will get started in just a second. I just remembered there was something I wanted to talk. Oh yeah, here it is. Here it is. I think, is it this one? It's a new RFC. It is. Yeah, it's this one. Oh yeah, we're 2025, right? Yeah, I was. Let me show that in a second. Hang on. So I figured while people are still coming into the stream, I might as well talk about a bit of PHP news, right? And this one over here is just being discussed. I'll have to read through it as well still, but type aliases, that would be pretty cool, pretty handy, I think. Clearly inspired by TypeScript, I reckon, or other languages with the same feature, but would be nice to have. Again, I have to read through all of this. I haven't looked into it, just skimming over it for now. But yeah, you can combine different types into an alias and then use that alias as a, oh yeah, and it's namespace defined, which is also good. Scope to the namespace. That's nice. So yeah, I think will be an interesting one. So folks, say hi in chat if you haven't already. That way we, oh look, the PHP logo has gotten a Christmas themed thing. Is this really the, oh no, this is the wiki. Okay, I was like, this is not the homepage of the website, right? This is, oh, and then there, here it isn't. Branding, right? Oh yeah, I'm also on Twitch. If you want to go there. Did I send my tweets? Yes, I did. Okay, that's good. And let's see, what do we want to work on today? Did it do it over here? Yeah. Oh, by the way, I just I just wrote a rant here. So I hang on, where am I? I just got my new AirPod thingy, and I had to connect them to my iPhone, and I went deep into a rabbit hole before that was able to work. Like I had to take several steps, and I was kind of raging about Apple. Maybe a story for another time. Here, oh Enzo, you're here. Type aliases have been in my PHP wishlist for a while now. Would be cool, right? Just a feature that makes so much sense. And since you can define them on the namespace level, you can ship like framework defined aliases, I reckon. I still have to read through the RFC, so I might be wrong there, but I think that's how it would work. So yeah, PHP is getting there, actually. We're getting a lot of new features these days. When you think about it, for 8.6 we'll get partial function application. That's already done. Now there's pattern matching. Oh, did I mention pattern matching before on stream? RC wiki.php/rc pattern matching. Is it this one in discussion? Yeah. A way to, yeah, basically match variables to patterns. And then there is, oh, this as well. That's a bit weird actually, but I still again have to read through this RFC also. Maybe discuss that on stream next week or something like that, or maybe tomorrow with Nuno. That maybe that will do. I don't know. Nuno was going to send me a his topics, but I'm still waiting for them. So yeah, we'll see. Okay, so today I would just want to do some coding, and nothing too philosophical, nothing too deep, just trying to get some more things to work with this testing framework that I'm working on. So interesting news. We worked last time on this TeamCity output, which means we can make a PHP Storm integration. Where did I put my, just quick demo here? If you run tests from, like this, you see, make it so that it works like this in PHP Storm. That will be nice. And another big thing that we need to figure out now is framework integration. Of course, I'm writing this for Tempest. I was already pull requesting it into Tempest, but then Enzo told me to not do that yet. So, okay, I'll back off. The reason I was doing that, by the way, Enzo, was because I wanted to work on this framework integration layer, and I didn't really want to ship it with this package, but it's actually totally fine for now. Who cares? Doesn't even matter. And I actually already have one, framework integration level, the event bus tester. And so let's think this through. So we have our tests before and after test, for example. You have your test classes, which don't have to extend anything. There's some spam in Twitch, sorry. Doesn't extend anything, right? And then you use traits to add behavior to your tests. For example, this test has access to this events, and then you can manipulate the default event behavior so that you can do test specific stuff with it. I think that's the fake pattern, right? That's what Enzo called it. It's what Laravel does as well. It's very convenient. And we need to think about that some more and see how far we can drive this. So yeah, someone on Twitch actually, first time chat, I don't know if this is real or spam, to be honest. Your streams are straight up legendary and never miss one. If that is, super cool. If that's not, then it's spam. Juan, I don't know. You're catching one of the live streams lives. This is live. You're here right now. Welcome. Sorry, Sniper, I reported you. Good times, good times. Hey, oh, by the way, a quick streaming question. Actually, I should look that up myself, but I changed some settings and now apparently... Oh, Nuno is live? No, Nuno is not live. I think the settings reset, actually. How do I go to my... Oh, no, this is not where I... Oh, yeah. How do I just go to the stream? Not end stream. Share. I don't know. Okay, quality is okay. I don't know. I wanted to reduce the latency, basically, but I don't think it worked. So YouTube is still pretty late. Yeah, I'll have to do some more testing with that. But speaking of testing, let's take a look at what we want to do, because the thing is with Tempest, we already have all of this for PHP unit, of course. There are a bunch of tester classes. Let's see what's a good example? The HTTP router tester. That's a big one and a really important one, right? And so this is a class that's available in your test suite. And in Tempest, because we're using, yeah, okay. Enzo is going to Twitch. Okay, fine. You go to Twitch. It's great. In Tempest, we're using an abstract base class for testing, right? Because we're still using PHP unit, which we might want to change. And so, actually, I don't remember how this one works. You create one and then you send request. So in some cases, like for example with the event bus tester, you need to set it up, right? And so this is the tester class itself. This is where you do your assertions and stuff like that. But then you have also the straight tests events. And the way I set it up with the new testing framework is just a before and after hook. And this means that some things will get changed in the container before running your test and then rolled back afterwards. I don't really like that approach a lot. And in many cases, you don't have to do that. I had to do it here because we're using the same event bus for our tests as we do for our internal communication, basically. So all of this output is, let me do it like this, is event driven. And hang on, test command. Why doesn't that work? Uh-oh. Up version for both. Yeah, okay. I won't dive into the rabbit hole for now. Oh, I need to do not disturb actually. So it's event driven, and so if I basically fake the event bus during a test and then don't roll it back, then we don't have the real event bus anymore, which is kind of unfortunate. I think I want that to change. And the way to do that, I think, is by cloning the container. And so the container you're using to run a test is like a testing container, like totally separate from the app, from the runtime that's running your test. And I should do that, but there is a big problem with that. Like cloning the container isn't trivial because the container contains all objects, all singletons that were registered in like in the app before, and you might actually run into some. Well, no, you do actually run into some problems there. It's not as easy as just a simple clone. You need to do a very deep clone, and then there were some edge cases there because then it was cloning stuff that shouldn't be cloned, and I gave up on that. So my solution for now is, and this is actually only a problem for the event bus because that's really the only thing that's being used by the test runner itself, I think, maybe. Yeah. So I keep track of the original event bus. Then I create a new event bus tester and I register that in the container, essentially overriding the original one, and then afterwards I override it again with the original. It's not the cleanest solution, and the proper solution is to have a cloned container, but that's not what I want to do today. I actually want to look into like this HTTP testing stuff and console testing. Actually let's first do console tester, because that we have available. And console tester is actually a pretty a pretty complex one, if I can say it like that. So for now, my plan was to merge this into Tempest in the mono repository so that I could add these testers in their specific packages. But because Enzo told me I shouldn't do that just yet, I'll just create event bus, create a directory for the trait and then the actual tester for now over here. That's fine as well. It works as well. It doesn't really matter. Is having a dedicated container only for tests not possible? Juan asks. I really like that I have the chat now. Isn't that? Oh, maybe I should zoom it in a little bit more. Ooh. Oh, now it's broken. Yes, that's entirely possible. The thing is, we need to clone the original container because it already has a lot of discovered initializers and containers, definitions and singletons registered to it. So you don't want to start just from a clean container, because then you don't really have a way to hook into the framework, basically, which is the reason why we want container support, so that you can easily hook into the framework with dependency injection within your tests. It's a pretty nice feature, I find. Okay, so let's do it like this: console, and let's say tests console. Oh, actually, this one will have to do exactly the same as our event bus as well, because we are in fact relying on our console dependency. I need to come up with a better way of doing that. Maybe a tag? Would a tag work? And then, no, that wouldn't work. No, that wouldn't work. Let's see. We'll create a class here, console tester, with nothing in it for now. And then we'll say, let's just make sure I close these. Original console, and oh, this is console. And then we'll call this console, and this is the console tester. Okay? Like so, and then we say console is new console tester. We don't need the original one in that case. And then singleton, we'll say console like so, and then to roll that back, we'll say this original console. So something like this, I think. Again, not really the cleanest. So we'll have to find a proper solution for that later. But then we have our console tester, and actually let's take a look at what's happening over here. Let's just copy everything. And let's see what problems we run into. So we have our assert here, and that's basically the reason we cannot use these, because we have our assert from PHP unit. But apart from that, actually, does this? Oh. Let's, yeah, this is a problem. We'll just say this container get interactive component renderer. Okay, and so then we have our assert things that we have to convert. So that should work, right? I hope. And then it should just, yeah. Yeah, okay. So ignore line endings. Ugh. So this is all PHP unit specific stuff. We'll say test. This outputted as unformatted string. Outputted. We're gonna test this, and we'll say contains text. Okay, and so one thing I'm already running into is that this failure message, we cannot add that right now, which is I think we do need that at some point. Yeah. So before continuing, important question. Should I, when I test these individual testers, should I keep the tests over here, which is entirely possible without any configuration? Let's see. Console tester test. And then we'll say, we'll add a test function. What was it? Assert contains. And then we'll have to import this. Import. And so I think this should work, right? Yeah. So we're here. No, we're not here. Huh? Oh. In all my production apps at work, Enzo is saying my tests are located next to their classes. Yeah, that makes more sense, right? I think so too. If only it worked. Which it doesn't. Hang on, let's... Oh, it doesn't discover the test. Apparently. It's probably because I have my middleware here. It's only going to discover in def namespaces. Yeah, that should be changed. Hang on. It should also discover in the project namespace. Actually, this composer, let's see, do we have... main namespace, yes. That's basically what we need. Does it... main namespace? It should just... Yeah, perfect. Add... main namespace, and then we'll filter because that's nullable. Yes, okay. This now works. Hello, Biscuit, who finally caught a stream. That's his name. That's not me doing weird stuff. But welcome. By the way, I just noticed I got 100 subscribers on Twitch. I don't know if that's a good thing or not. According to Sniper Rogue thingy, my streams are straight up legendary and he never misses one. So yeah, but 100 subscribers, cool. Thank you, I guess. So we have our test working and we fixed an issue, which is nice. And we were going to actually wonder, hang on. I want to do something here. Scopes, let's see. A local scope tests. And the pattern should be file.test.php. Okay. Save changes, and then we'll do file colors, and we'll add a scope here, tests, and we'll make them green. We say save changes. Doesn't work. Use file to match all text files in the project. That's what I did, right? Okay, now it does work actually. Oh no, it was this save. As the 100th, I think that means I get a prize. Biscuit says. No, I'm sorry. No prizes. Yeah, but I appreciate you're here. Okay, so now our test is color green. That's better, right? That's better. So we'll say use tests console. Of course, that's a requirement. And then we'll say this console. Actually, we need to, we can do call. And then let's add, I do wonder, Enzo, if you have your test classes with your normal classes, where do you put fixtures then? I'll put them here for now. Fixture command. And let's just do invoke actually. Let's do console command, use has console, and then this success done. For example, a call fixture. Is this discovered? Maybe not. Let's see. And yeah, since we don't have a plugin yet, we need to edit our configuration, and then we'll say console tester test. This fails because too few arguments for console tester construct 0 paths and need exactly 1. That's my bad. Ooh. Let's do it like this. Console tester, it needs the container, right? Yeah. Cannot assign console tester to property. Hang on. Yeah. Container, generic event bus. I made a silly mistake. Enzo, can you fix it for me? By the way, I don't know if I ever told you, I was using these AI agents a couple of days ago on the stream, right? With Junie to write my test, but not a lot of people know this, but Enzo is basically also just an AI that we wrote that is doing all of our work. Yeah, okay, let's see. We do, where does this fail? Hello. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, because... How did I actually... Hang on. Does the event bus tester actually implements event bus? We don't need to do that over here because it just interacts with the console and it sets everything up. I remember the console tester. Yeah, it does all of this and it sets up. That's why we pass in the container manually. We might need to refactor that. We don't need to do this. We don't need to do this. Actually, the event bus is okay. Is assert success. Nope. Yeah, okay, now we need to make our assertions. Let's test this exit code is exit code. And then hang on. Oh, assert not null. Test this. Oh, and we can do it like this, of course. This is the whole reason why we're doing that, not null. Okay. Okay. Now it doesn't fail, but it also doesn't mark as succeeded. Oh, I need to. Can I remove it from here? I don't know. No. I need someone to moderate Twitch chat for me because there's some spam. Anyway, why doesn't it mark the test as succeeded now? Yeah, can I do that actually? Enzo, can I make you moderator? Do you know how the Twitch thing works? Because I have no clue. Oh. Twitch. Hang on. Boom, boom. Okay, now what? Mod. Oh. Mod. Hill Mew. Does it work? I hope it does. Okay. Distractions. So, why isn't the test marked as succeeded? Do we actually end up here? No, we don't. So that's why the test isn't marked as succeeded. Assert success. So there's an exception somewhere. Why don't we get this exception? It's okay, Enzo. It's okay. Now we have it for the future. You can spam YouTube, so you have it on both platforms. Yeah, thank you. Oof. I'm like, actually, you know what? I'm gonna do something else because I'm getting totally lost here. I'll do another scope, testers, and we'll say file this tester.php, right? And then we'll assign another color to it, testers, and we'll make those violet. Or what's a good color? Violet is good. Okay. Because I was totally getting lost. Okay, so this is my tester. Cool. And it doesn't work. It does not work, my tester. Assert status. Assert success. Come on. I'm gonna add a bookmark here. So it does this, and then nothing happens because I reckon. Okay, let's see. Let's just. Okay, so this succeeds and then is. Okay, so it's throwing this exception and the exception isn't getting caught, which it should, and be reported as like a failed test. Why doesn't that happen? Run test. We catch it over here. So we call the method, then we catch it. Okay, so we are actually here. And so I assume, hang on. Yeah, of course I know. We don't end up, oh, we do end up here. So we have this event that's being triggered. Okay, so the event actually is sent. That's good. So, oh, by the way, I like that you do this, Admiral Mickey. Because I had no idea how to pronounce that name. So I try to remember that now, because then that's the second step. I wanted to add one thing and ask your opinion about the wishlist for PHP. I want to have full computed property get hook so I can pass args. Yeah, but why? What's the difference then with the normal get method? Can you share your thoughts about that? And what would the syntax look like actually from the call side? this property, and then what? Just like so. But then it's a method, right? So why then add a property hook? Please explain. Meanwhile, I'll try to understand what is going on here. And why I don't get to see these failures. That's so weird. Tempest test. Console tester test. Hang on, test, fail. Okay, so this works. It's gonna be such an obvious thing, I think. Hang on, test name and then exception reason. Failed asserting that exit code. So okay, the assertion works, doesn't succeed, but that's the point. It should fail. Why then middleware dispatch to parent process? Let's see, event class test failed. We get that. Yes, we do. Okay, and then we have our payload and we write it. So let's see, payload. And that's our test failed payload, because this is happening in a child process, by the way, and it's getting sent back to the parent process. So it's an event, failed asserting that exit code, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that is all correct. Then why output listeners on test failed? Oh, it's because we're we're doing something weird with our console. I think. Hang on, var dump. No, it's not ending up here. Okay, so no, that's not a problem. I still think it's something with the console, actually. Oh yeah, because we're not writing it. We're not writing it to... Okay, so this is actually... There's no way around. I need to clone the container. That's just... Basically, that's the gist of it. I need to clone the container. Okay, let's clone the container. Why not? Let's just do that. And you know why I didn't want to clone the container? I remember, because I have to do that on the framework level, and this is a separate package. Okay, but let's see if I can hack it and then afterwards add it to Tempest. Actions, let's just do it. Deep, nah, it's not gonna work. I don't think it's gonna work. It's all private stuff. I need to... Sorry, I'm ignoring your messages as well, Admiral. I already forgot your name, but let me first think about this. Container, generic container, actually. And the problem with I already implement clone here because we already use cloning of the container to for like runtime circular dependency detection, basically. And that's the reason I didn't want to clone the container. Run test. Which is also colored green, which is annoying me, but I'll ignore that. Okay, so what's happening here? We are, where is our container? Here is our container. We need to make a clone of that container, basically. Because when we do call method here, we resolve stuff from that container. And because we fake our console, but we're running it in our console as well, we run into problems because that's not removed. Actually, just as a way to verify that this is the problem, tests console. Let's see, I'll still have my original console here. So, and then let's do after. Oh, hang on, I need to test console before, and then tests console after. I need to maybe come up with better naming conventions here. After, and let's say this, oh no, we get the container here, right? Container, return void, and we'll say this, no, container singleton console, this original console. Let's see if it works now. It does. Okay, so that's the problem. Okay. Okay, now I can at least check out Admiral's thingy here. The only case that I could see good fit is dynamic cache key. Maybe you're right, and the method should be the thing that is needed, because that gets the point. That's the point of methods, right? To perform some actions and return the result with some parameters. That's important. You could have this property. Oh, yeah, this is what it could look like. Yeah, I don't know if that's like really added value. I'm just thinking out loudly. Maybe I do very like computed properties in Vue. Yeah. Admiral Mickey. I'll try to remember, but yeah. Okay, you have a team meeting. Okay, then bye. No, but I answered. I don't think there's lots of need for it in PHP. Okay, so cloning the container. I need to do this on the framework level. I mean, there's no use in trying to do this here. What we need to do is, since we already have clone and clone, oh, this is so dirty. Ugh. We need to do a deep clone, right? We need to make sure that our singletons at least are all cloned as well. That's the important part. So I'm thinking, I'm not gonna change the interface. For me, it's okay if it's just in generic container. That's fine. What is this PHP Storm theme with the nice rounded corners and colorful tabs? It is the new island layout is called, and it's getting released. Oh, hang on. It's getting released in maybe later today, maybe next week. And you just select it over here. Island Light, Island Dark is available as well. And it has these nice rounded corners. And then I place my tabs at the bottom instead of the top. So, but that's just custom. And then the colors are custom as well. I just, I added some scopes here, file scopes, and then I assign file colors to them. That's how that works. Okay, so copying the container. I'm just gonna, Enzo, if you're watching still, what do you think about copy instead of clone? Because I don't want to, it feels kind of dirty, but it also, I think it makes sense for it to be just not simple cloning, but like a real intentional step. Okay, we're gonna copy the container, which is resource intensive because you're Oh, thank you, Enzo. I haven't kept up. Why do you need to clone the container, and why do you need to do that in the framework itself? You've got to pay attention here. We're running our tests within Tempest, right? And we're currently using just Tempest container to do all the things. But when you fake, for example, the console, you need to do this. You need to first get the original console and then restore it after the test, because when you fake the console, you actually override that singleton dependency, and you don't get any console output anymore if you don't manually reset it. And that's what I don't want. So I want to make a copy of the container so that I a deep copy, a copy with all its singletons. So you know that the testing container, the container used for testing, has the same setup, but doesn't, whatever changes you make for it to it are always contained to that one single test, and doesn't propagate to any other tests or to the framework above. AI Enzo needs more computing power. Exactly. Yeah, I don't know why this bot is not keeping up. Come on. So you'd rather make a deep clone of the container instead of a dedicated, well, let me show you a message. Rather make a deep clone of the container instead of a dedicated console testing trait that just restores it after. It is a good question. That's what exactly what I'm doing right now, is restoring it. Let me show you. It's tests. Oh yeah, exactly where I'm doing that right now, and it works. It's okay, but you need to. The console tester here actually does more than just the console registering in the container, I think. Let's see. It also does the argument back in some cases, so you need to restore that as well. Input buffer, output buffer must also be restored. So it's just a lot of keeping track of. And that's what I'm wondering, like, it just feels like copying the container is way more easy and prevents all edge cases basically without having to think about it. That's why I'm considering doing that. So container equals clone this. We can actually use the new syntax here, right? No, it's this, and then we need our singletons. Hang on. Is an array iterator. New singleton cloned singletons equals. Okay, you would call that deep clone instead of. I'm fine with that. Deep clone. Clone singletons equals this singletons. Can you deep clone? Like, it's an array iterator. Is that just, yeah. Do I have to loop over them? I'm actually not sure. Should I new array iterator, and then for each this is the stupid approach, right? Let's say index. No, we don't need all of this. We just but if it's closure. Okay, if it's a closure, we just don't need to clone it, basically. A singleton instance of closure, then we'll say singleton, and else we'll do clone singleton. The reason why it can be a closure is when a singleton gets registered, it gets registered as a closure. And the first time it's called, it actually overrides that singleton. So, and then this should, I think, in theory, let's just try that out, and then we'll write some tests for it, of course. But let's see, vendor Tempest. I'm just gonna manually link it here. Tempest framework, packages, container over here. So that in theory should now work. And okay, so what we then should do, so right now it will still, if I don't do this, okay, then our console is broken. Now let's go to where we create our run test. That's in a test run command, and actually you need to, instead of injecting it here, let me inject private read-only container, And then we'll say run tests. Run test equals this container. No, do we? No, we'll say new run test, and we'll give it this contain. If this container, hang on, no, a little bit cleaner. Container equals this container. If it's an instance, if container instance of generic container, because we have support for multiple containers, by the way, there is PSR support here, so I cannot just assume it's always container equals container deep clone, yes, and then we pass it over here, and then we where's our run test? Over here we say run test. It doesn't work. Why not? How nice would it have been if it just worked? So run test. Let's see. We have our container test run command over here. Let's see. Just make sure that it's another one. SPL object ID this container. And it definitely is another one. But I guess our singletons aren't. Maybe that closure thing wasn't correct, actually. Yeah, this is going to print out like huge amounts of data. Of course, that's not going to be really helpful. This is the point where we need a debugger, which I don't have installed because I'm just on PHP 8.5. And give me a second. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. What else do we have here? Let's see, what goes in definitions? No, yeah, I remember actually. Okay, hang on. What is in singletons? Also mixed. I don't remember how I wrote the container. Maybe what we're gonna do, okay, is object. We'll clone it. Okay. Now we'll have to do this, not for singletons, but also I think that might actually be definitions. For each definition. Yes, and then we'll say definitions. Weird. Initializers don't matter because they don't rely on state. Decorators is the same, and the chain is already cloned because we clone, and that's actually what happens with this clone method here. Okay, anyone wants to make a guess whether it will work? Okay, no, it doesn't work. So we'll have to the new container and the old one. Okay, so the objects are separated. Let's do something here. We're going to, well, actually I can easily do it like this. So we have run test, and then at the very end, let's say this container get console, and then we'll get the class. That's generic console. What does console tester do? with singleton. What's console? Oh no, that's okay. Actually, we need to look at that input and output buffer, I think. And one is good. Let's get the output buffer here. Yeah. Ugh. Cannot resolve because it's not an instantiable class. This is already a clone, of course, but it's a clone of this class. Does this have a clone? No. This is weird because console does also depend on input and output. Or doesn't it? What is this? Oh, this is the stupid var dumper output. See, it does have an input buffer and output buffer. And over here is the memory input. Okay, so it is, so this is actually what I expect, but then on the higher level, actually, you know what I'm doing here makes no sense at all, because the test itself is run in a child process, so it already has a different container. I just realized, so the problem must be somewhere else. Oh, okay, let's go back. Let's go to our what was it called, listener output listeners. So on test failed, nothing. Oh no, it's about sending. Brent. It's about, hang on, let's go to our middleware. No, that's not. What's actually, I don't remember what I call it, but I have this dispatch to parent process middleware, right? Okay, yeah, so this is use console. Okay, let's do this console and output is, okay, no, so that actually is correct. Interesting. If you echo the payload, does it work? Yeah, it echoes the payload. But when I so yeah, the payload now works, yeah, but that's not in the right format, of course. I need to, well, I can just do this. So the problem is with write line. So it is in the console. Hang on. When is this one? What's going on here? Well, can I ask the same question to you, Mr. or Mrs. PHP fart time? What's going on there? So should I just echo it and just call it a day? You replace the console in the child process, which is the one that uses the dispatch. Yes, but I thought I just fixed that. Didn't I? because of the deep clone, but maybe not in the right place. So you deep cloned in the parent. Did I? Test run command. No, this is the child process. I think. Yes, this is the child process. This is actually the process when you test runner. It's easy to test this actually. Hang on. Is there somewhere? Okay, yeah, of course. Let's rebuild the child command from scratch actually. Tempest test run, and then we'll pass it this. Test run vendor bin. Okay. Oh, but now it works. Now it actually does. Is that my echo still? No, that's not my echo. See? That's weird, right? I made such a stupid mistake. I'm sure of it, and I don't know where. Okay, so this is the child process that's being run, and it actually dispatches the event. Huh? That's weird. Kevin is here just saying, hello, I love listening to your streams while coding at work. And like right now it's just, what? Huh? I don't understand what's going on. Come on. Like very, very relaxing, I'm sure. Let's see. So whenever we get output, do we get this event output? Hang on. No, not. Let's just output the buffer, and okay, that's over here. We do get the output. So what's the difference then with write line or echo? Echo. Oh, we only get the first event. We don't get the second one. Why? I just noticed PHP 4 times their avatar, which unfortunately I cannot really zoom into, but I can. And oh, beautiful. Either it works and I'm amazing, or it doesn't work and I don't understand why. I am for sure that this is my... oh wow, fartime actually does give some good input here. Echo writes to std out directly. Write line can write to the buffer first. True. But still, like if we run it, the child process directly, it does actually output with write line. So if the problem was actually, we can test this, right? We can remove our, I'm getting a little claustrophobic here because of my high zoom level, but that's all for you. If we go back to, hang on. This is our test runner. This is what we need. Let's remove that buffer right here because we don't really need it. We have write line, okay. And then we have our test run command over here. This is where we clone the container. Okay, let's just, I can just do it like this. Yeah, let's not clone the container. Oh, and then it still works. Okay, then no. No, then I'm totally clueless. No, actually, Hang on. No, it is failing. We need to get multiple. Outputs here. Hang on. We need to get multiple lines, of course, because there's no. Oh yeah, because I need to do PHP end of line. It was failing with this right line. Enzo, you're a genius, and Fartime, you have saved the day. I can't believe I'm saying that. And Juan is at the edge of their seat. Perfect. This is like, wow, such high tension content over here. Unbelievable. I still don't know how to fix it though. Hang on. Okay, so but now we know indeed I was just I knew I was messing up. I said I was right. I was messing up. I knew it. Who could have guessed? And now with the deep clone, hang on. If I deep clone, it messes up. So basically my deep clone isn't doing, okay. So we're back to square one, or my deep clone isn't working. So, big brain. Okay, hang on. We have original container, SPL object ID container, right? Original container is 4. Okay. Now the new container, cloned container, gets 1,200, something like that. Okay. Okay. Now. Even if we do this, we still do not get the output, which means we're changing our original container. So let's go to our console tester and let's over here, let's write a console container and do the same. Which one of the two do we have? And so my guess, before I run this command, my guess is that it would be 4. And we don't want it to be 4, we want it to be 1,275. Now, there can be 3 things here. It can be 4, it can be 1,275, or it can be a third number. If it's a third number, I have no clue. If it's 1,275, I also have no clue. I think I say you can make a guess if you want to, but there's a 30-second delay on the stream, so I have no clue. Well, I'll only be able to see your guesses after I've already pressed enter, but you say now 4 or 1,275. Let's go 1, 2, 3, and oh. Okay. Why? Yeah. No. Hang on. I think I know. I think I know what's going on. Oh no. Oh. Hang on. Okay, so the tests console. What we do here is we inject the container into this test console before and test console after. Right? This isn't the right container. This isn't our clone container, because this container is resolved via the container, which is registered as, I thought, a singleton, so it should have cloned, but because it's cloning, it's not deep cloning, because we're deep cloning the container and it's just calling clone on the original container, so we get the original container. Reference to Okay. I know what to do. I think I know what to do. Just seems like Brent can contain his confusion. No, we're getting somewhere. This is Wow, this is just beauty, beauty. What we need to do, stop distracting me, chat. I need to go to my run test. Can you imagine me doing this with an AI agent? Sorry, but hang on. You know what we need to do? It's so simple. We call our method here. We loop over these parameters. And we have this data. You know what we need to do? Look at this. Data equals container. And we say this container. And then we spread the other data. And I think... So now, whenever we inject a container, and okay, now we're relying on the container name. It's not totally accurate, but that way, if this works, at least we've verified the core of the issue. Then we need to come up with a proper solution for it, but that's trivial. Okay, so if this works, the loop over the method parameters. We'll see whether the parameter name is set in the data. If it is, we'll just continue. And so we won't ever resolve the container via the container. And it should work. Okay. Unknown name parameter. Of course. Hang on. I'll just, if parameter get name, it's a very hard coded thingy, but data container equals this container. We'll see. It's just a way to verify whether it's indeed correct. Okay. It works. It actually works. Like, this is good. This is the test failing. That's what we want. Let's see. Hang on. Let's remove all these thingies. And now the ID is actually the same. Of course, it is the same. And we have command fixture not found. That's kind of unfortunate that it writes to the output buffer. That is, I don't know how to. Okay, but at least the test fails. We don't want it to write to the output buffer. I don't know why it's doing that, but it works. So yeah, far time. I want to thank you, because your comment actually got me on the right track. Enzo as well, of course, but. You see, don't judge anyone by their name. I would say, yeah, that's. Wow. It isn't. I wrote a lot of containers. Oh, I wrote a lot of container, and each one must return this to container interface. I have no clue what you mean by that, but apart from that, you were saying things that made a lot of sense. So I'm just wondering, how do I now properly fix this? Because actually, Enzo was distracted for a bit. Is the issue that the clone container still references the previous container, so that the clone must replace itself? Yes, Enzo. Thank you. Yeah, I wish you were here 5 minutes ago, but yes. So actually, let's try to solve this on the framework level, because if you make a deep clone of the container, you do want to make a clone of the container, you know? And yeah. So let's remove this, and then of course it breaks again. Yes, okay, that's good. Now into our generic container over here, we need to find, let's see, this singletons. Is it over here? Oh, no. Oh. That doesn't exist. In definitions, probably. No, also not. No, what am I doing? Self-class. Come on. Such a noob. Okay, this is null. Okay, but so it should be in singletons, right? Oh. No, it's also not. Oh, undefined key generic container. No, because it's the container interface. container. Now it's gonna work. Okay. So we need, so clone equals clone, and we'll return the clone, and then we'll say clone singleton. We can actually call the singleton method here to container, and we'll say we'll re-register it to clone. Does it now work? And actually it also fixed the output thingy. Easy fix. It's an easy fix. Maybe AI would have fixed it like in 5 seconds, which is why Enzo here fixed it in 5 seconds as well. By the way, Hilmu or Heilmu, I actually don't know how to pronounce it, but that's Enzo. I woke up this morning not knowing that the word of the day would be container. Beautiful. I'll mew. Il mew. En français. Ah, petit peu. Oui, oui. Wow. Il. It's on. Yeah, it's in French, right? Il mew. I'll just keep saying Enzo. Wow, folks. This is like, okay, I need to now. I need to write a test for this. Yeah. And you know, container test. Ugh, PHP unit. Test deep, and of course this test deep clone container. So container equals new generic container. We'll say container singleton equal and oh yeah, I will say dependency A equals. Do I have a dependency A somewhere in my fixtures? Or inject A? No. Just simple dependency. So many fixtures. Dependency without constructor. I'll make a new one just to make sure. Dependency for deep clone. Dependency A is new dependency for deep clone. Okay. And then we'll say dependency for deep clone, and we'll register that to the container. Okay, now we'll make a clone. Clone equals container deep clone, and what we want to assert is that clone get container. And what's that? How does PHP unit work? Assert not same. Container get container, and then yes. No. Plugin. I was playing around with a plugin here, but save. Don't make me restart, please. Okay. Okay. Cannot resolve container. Oh, of course. Hang on. Container singleton container. Okay. So this is good, and then just for good measure, right? We'll do this. Nice. You should really just write a class in the test file, Enzo says, with the fixtures. I don't agree, actually. I know you do with the model test. It becomes so like 1,000 lines here. And then you need to find the right class. Why not just create separate classes? Still, we have like 1,000 fixtures classes then. That's also not really nice. I know, but I think it's better than everything in one file. But okay. New branch, deep clone container. Cool. That was a pretty easy test to write. Oh. Let's go to le GitHub en français, Tempest framework. Deep clone, yes please. Feature container, deep clone container. And now we wait for CI to finish. There we are. And so that might take a second. While it's doing that, let me actually check here if how many new things are okay. So as you can see, we have a lot of merged pull requests from Xhaven. That's going to be released in this release, but that's good. Writing the test before might have helped. Yes, but we were debugging. I mean, yeah. If you don't know what the problem is, you cannot write a test for it, I would say. If the container contains a service that contains this container and you deep clone it, what container should be cloned in the clone service inside the new container? Should be in the clone service inside the new container. Yes, so it's not, it's only a shallow deep clone. Xhaven just took over the whole project. Yeah, that's also a thing. It's a shallow deep clone, but is that enough? Because imagine, like, yeah, we can clone recursively very deeply. I don't know if that's preferable though. I'm not sure. Makes me think, why do we need a separate deep clone, which you are right is not a deep clone, it's a shallow one, instead of updating clone for performance? Yes, because this is the part where you weren't paying attention, Enzo. We already use clone internally for the dependency chain. And we clone the chain so that we can do circular dependency detection. So this clone actually happens a lot, like with every step. I think maybe that's not the smartest idea. Yeah, with auto wiring, like with every auto wire step. Maybe we should optimize that, honestly, because this isn't like we're cloning the container just for a copy of the chain. This is like, to me, let's see, I wrote this a year and a half ago, right? Actually, the first parts of the container were written in April 2024. So it's by far one of the oldest parts of the code base. But I don't want to touch this part now. Maybe actually for now I should not do this and just solve it in my testing library, because as PHP Fartime is saying, I think you can create a list of all object ID new object instant and replace it before cloning if meet easy feature. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't just quick fix this on the framework level. The problem, oh no, it's not a problem actually. No, yes it is a problem because these are private. I cannot really copy I think I rather actually move this deep clone method to my testing library for now. But we have setters, don't we? Enzo asks. Emu asks. I don't know what you... Setters for what? I don't know. Setters for everything? And this is public. Come on. Actually, if we make all of this public, I can, you know, we can make it private set. Actually now. I don't know why this is public. If we just do this, then I can construct a new container with this information and then do the clone part, the shallow clone part, not the deep clone. Just do it on my own in the testing library, which I think I actually prefer. Because I think it will, like, yeah, we don't have, this is kind of a nasty thing to do. It's not good. It's not a deep clone. It's, yeah. I would also, okay, Ilmu has spoken. I would also prefer this to be in the testing library. Okay, then let's do it. Okay, let's close the pull requests. And, oh, it's even failing. Okay, so the only thing we need to do then, let's roll this back, blah, blah, blah. Let's go to main. Let's make sure we're up to date. Let's do a new branch here. What's it called? Container public properties. And we'll just make all of this. Actually, let's first, I mean, generic container. Let's go to over here. Why is this public? Do we, hang on, do we have show right access? That's within, okay, so that's fine. It shouldn't be public. I don't know what it is, private. Maybe we made it public to read, but not to write. Actually, I can look it up, right? Was it initializers? Yeah, no. I made it public, I think, at one point. But I don't get any read access from here as well. So we'll just run Composer QA and see what it does. Let's go. Oh. Hang on. Composer up. I was experimenting with Mago. Actually, we need to update Mago, Enzo, but I'm not going to do that now because there might be some weird things. Okay, let's go, let's push. Why is all of this changed? No, stop! Continue. Let's delete. I'm just going to do it one more time. Container private set properties, and I'm going to make sure that Mago isn't doing weird stuff. There are just some new rules here, but I don't want. Okay, so private. Now we're back into the one more time. Set private set, and this is all in the construct, right? So we can commit and push. Now we can run Composer QA. Okay, and then did you really come in, Enzo, already and change the title? See, it is a bot. Let's see. Is this a feature? Container, make all container properties publicly readable. He's a cat. Cats are fast. Is it a reference to like the Pokemon Mew? or something else? Because I don't get it. Il mieux. Okay, so I'm more happy with this. And then let's go back to our testing stuff, because this now again fails. Let's make sure. Oh, it totally fails. Call to undefined method deep clone. Yeah, let's just implement it here. Private function clone container resolve container, and it returns container, or no, it resolves just container. Okay. And now we need to re-implement all of our thingies, which I don't have anymore. So I have to rewrite it. I have it somewhere. I have it in the closed pull request, right? Okay, so the singletons, and then the clone. Okay, if container not instance of, return container, else container. And then array iterator, yes. So singletons and definitions, and then we also had our this part, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's better to be here. Yeah. And then we'll say container is this resolve container, and then we can actually just inline this like so. Meow meow. Okay, not a reference, just a made up name. Okay, il mieux. Yes, this is better. And now it still doesn't work, but cannot modify private set property. Yeah, I cannot use clone with here. What I need to do, that's fine. A clone is new generic container. This is definitions is cloned definitions. Singletons is cloned singletons. Initializers is container initializers. And then a dynamic initializers is container dynamic initializers. And then decorators is container decorators. And then chain can be null, I think. Because if I'm not mistaken, it actually creates a chain. Let's see, this chain. Yeah, that's good. Okay, and it works. Okay, good. I'm more happy with this. Let's just keep this ugly code in over here. And everything is seemingly fine. Much better, right? Yes. Thank you all for helping me think along here. And so we ended up with a dedicated container. Juan asks, we ended up with a clone of the container for each test. Well, not actually for each test. Should we do that? What it's doing now is it resolves, it creates the new container, and then it runs all the tests. So it makes one container and then uses that container for all the tests. Would it make more sense to make a new container per test? It would have a performance impact, but it will also mean that whatever you do within a test is scoped to within that container. But that's a question we don't need answering right now, because that's all done on the project level. So let's merge this in a second, and then I can tag it, and then I'm right in time for wrapping up the stream. Wow, what a journey it has been, don't you think? This was good. We had lots of container fun. So how long does this take? Are we almost done? Yes, almost. Yeah, Okay. Good times, good times. And then I can go back to fixing my iPhone, which I now had to update for my new in-ears. I had to update to the latest iOS, which is with the liquid glass. So yeah, that's really unfortunate. We might actually want a new container for each test for consistency. True, yes. Yeah, but step by step. Let's first do this. Should we tag a new major or minor? Sorry, not minor. Should we tag, not major. Should we tag a minor or a patch release? There are some features in here, right? By the way, is there a better way to do this? I just want to press generate release notes. Minor, yeah, feature. Add support for self-referencing relations. Add support to mark request properties sensitive field. Yeah, that's definitely that's a minor release. Oh yeah, the OAuth installer is coming as well. Oh, I should make a blog post about that. And then assert locked. Okay. Okay, it's gonna be a minor. If this ever finishes, of course. I wonder how much faster it will be if I can convert everything, but maybe a new container for every test should be an option. That's actually, yeah, I do want to look into like the performance impact it has. I can imagine like cloning the container for every single test can lead to some memory issues, especially. Although it should be garbage collected after the test is done. But yeah, I mean, ideally, yeah. I agree with Juan Quinto. I'm sorry for mispronouncing names. Sometimes having the same container might be alright to gain some performance. I think that should be the default, actually. You know what would fix your iPhone, a container? I'm very certain it would not. Okay, everything's done here. Let's go, and then we can tag Tempest live on stream. Here we go. Brr. Did you rename the? Oh no. Too late, Enzo. It is what it is. This is a good message. Right? Feed container, make all container properties publicly readable. Yeah, okay, let's quickly do this because I do have to wrap up in a second. How do you think container will be garbage collected? If you clone it within the loop, like if you clone it over here instead of here, it's basically just a matter of moving this to here. That's the difference. Then once an iteration is done, there's no more reference to this one, and it can be garbage collected. I'm not saying it will be garbage collected, but it can. So yeah. And the pull request title was alright this time. Let's go. What are we doing? Are we done here? Yes. Okay, let's do bin release minor. Oh yeah, there's still a monorepo issue with 8.5. That's just a local issue. And well, let's not worry about those. Everything's looking fine. Yes, okay. Let's give it 1 second here. 2.13, please. It will be here in a second. Yes, there we are. Okay. And that means we can now go to here, and then we can do, and that will still take 2 more minutes before updating. I think after the custom testing testing library, we should make a custom monorepo management tool. Yeah. How do you think? There are a lot of cyclic reference. Yeah, there might actually be things preventing it from being garbage collected, which is another reason why you don't really want to do it, like keep making clones here. Could you, if you were to no, test run command over here. If you were to do it like this and then manually unset run test, maybe would that work? I'm actually not sure. But yeah, it's adding quite a lot of overhead that this feels safer. And by the way, this only happens once for every process, right? But the tests are chunked into different processes. You can create a weak ref to the container and check if it was destroyed after each test run. True. Yeah, that might actually be a good solution. Okay, I'll have to look into that as well. Yes, good. What are we waiting for? Oh yeah, composer now. There we are. And now test. Yes, but this is okay, this is good. Some fine tuning to do, but I think the framework stuff is of course event, but I'm just gonna commit this and we'll keep working on it next time. So folks, tomorrow will be another stream, this time with Nuno. Go to Nuno's YouTube channel if you want to. Let me actually search that for you real quickly. Nuno Maduro. Over there. Look, he's pointing. I'm pointing to him. So that's tomorrow's stream, and that's gonna be fun as well. I did one with him 2 weeks ago on let's see, yeah, on PHP 8.5, but I still have no clue what we'll talk about tomorrow, but we'll see. I'm looking forward to it, so I'll see you there tomorrow. And for today, I'm going to say goodbye. Thanks for watching, and until next time, folks. Bye bye.